This is Amanda Moo, Get a Cow Lady channel, and I was looking up things about domestic animals in these wildfires that there are, because these wildfires are like some of the worst we've ever had in our country, in the western part of our country, especially in Oregon and Washington, and also there are some now in California, Nevada. Some have gone into Idaho. There's wildfires everywhere, and I was just wondering about the animals, because I know a lot of people there have animals, domestic animals, like the inside pets, like dogs, cats, parakeets. And they also have large animals, cows, horses, and this is where they give me Facebook. But for the Fielder Mountain Fire, let me make sure this is current. It's at the Expo Jackson County Fairgrounds in Oregon. If you live near there, I'm sure you know where it is, or you can easily find out. And they're open for level 2 and 3 evacuation of animals, and it says please call before you get here, so they're ready. And it's telling says they're working closely with the Jackson County Emergency Management and the Jackson County Sheriff's Department in Oregon. The expo follows direction and priorities established by local emergency officials and opens the facility for animal evacuations when level 2 be set and level 3 go now. Evacuation notifications are issued and support is requested. And it says the expo provides a safe location for animals when their owners and communities are affected by the wildfire. And I can't tell what kind of animals they are taking. If they're taking just dogs and cats, or if they're taking cows, horses, goats. But that's one place that, Facebook. And this is not good. And that's one place, if you're in Oregon, if you're level 2 or level 3 evacuation, that you can take your animals. And AI just wants to keep showing up, even though I don't want it. And there's also the 4-H Fairgrounds. It's helping shelter animals amid right spring. And let's see what kind of animals they're taking. Looks like they're taking horses. 4-H Fairgrounds helping shelter animals. Okay. Not just helping shelter animals, but helping shelter the animals that have families. They're helping shelter livestock. And they have in Klamath County, Oregon, 4-H staff and local volunteers are helping care for large animals, livestock, and other pets displaced by the 52,000-acre Wright Springs fire. And that is a big fire, and it says more than 1,000 evacuated animals. And let's see where else. But this is from the Oregon Veterinary Medical Associates. And I really don't have notes, so if I sound crazy, that's fine. This is the disaster preparedness, severe weather, earthquakes, wildfires, hazardous material spills, barn fires. A man-made natural disaster can strike anytime, anywhere. Put a preparedness plan in place now to keep you and your animals safe. And this is where it gets to the situation we're in now, or they're in now. I'm on the East Coast, and I do love animals everywhere, especially farm animals. And that includes dogs and cats, because they are on farms There are barn cats. There are livestock guard dogs, herding dogs. So dogs and cats count too. And I love the indoor birds and all them. So, and it says it may not always be possible to evacuate horses or livestock, but having a plan in place for a potential evacuation is a good idea. Keep halters and leads ready. Have a trailering and transport and system in place. Identify evacuation trailers and transport options in advance. Mark animals' ID tags, microchips, or spray paint phone number on hooves or coats. Have a go kit for your animals, feed or hay, water storage, buckets, halters, ropes, ID tags, and also the ear tags if they do have ear tags. Medical supplies, vaccination records, and tools, wire cutters, shovel, flashlight. And it says pre-designate safe zones, bare ground, cleared pastures. Evacuate large animals early. Loading in panic is dangerous and slow. And be ready to shelter in place. Prepare a portable first aid kit, as well as several days' supply of water, hay, food, and medications. You may also want to consider alternative methods of getting water for your animals, because water supplies can be contaminated. And make sure your animals have ID. A lot of dogs and cats do have microchips. I know that a lot of goats and sheep are small enough to microchip, but I don't know if their skin is thin enough. Their skin may be, and especially sheep, their floof may be too thick for the microchips to go through. So make sure they have some kind of ID. If they have their name, a halter with their name on it, if they have an ear tag. And this is severe weather can lead to fencing failures, or in this case, the fences can burn. And to provide safe high spots, that's for flooding. And after the event, examine your animals closely and contact your veterinarian if you observe injuries. And survey the damage to barns and structures. Make sure they're still safe. Gather and dispose of trash, limbs, wire, damaged equipment that could harm your animals before turning them to outdoor enclosures. And provide pets and livestock with non-contaminated food and water. And make sure they have access to clean water. And this is about floods. It says don't feed flood damage or moldy feed or hay. Also, the stuff from the wildfires is also not healthy for them. So if your food and your hay has been damaged by the wildfires, or the water to put out the wildfires, because it's not just plain water. It's like from fire hoses and stuff. It's not clean. Just try to get them some clean food and water. And one thing they say, this isn't on, they have on here, like, one of the things that you'll need, sharp knives and wire cutters. One reason for sharp knives and wire cutters is if you have to evacuate fast and you can't evacuate your animals, so they can evacuate themselves. Just cut the fences and let them run free, and they can get away from it, and they have a better chance of surviving. And hopefully they'll come back home when it's over. You can go find them, and if they do have the RFID kind of ear tags, then somebody will find them and get them back to you. Because, like, it's kind of like, it was before the Apple tags, air tags. It was before them, but it does the same thing. And it will track your animals, and you can go find them, or somebody will find them and they'll be able to scan it and get your animals back to you. And I am Fire Watch. Let's see what that is. August 12th. That was today. That was when how you look at it yesterday, today. Yesterday, 2 days ago, however you look at it. It's still overnight, and I haven't been to bed yet because I normally work overnight. So I'm up at night a lot. And the Animal Ark, this is KTVN News 2's post, and I am not sure if that's in Washington or Oregon. But Animal Ark says they are in process of moving many of the animals that have to be evacuated to area wildfires back home, and that is a good thing. It might be in I am not sure where that is. That might be in Colorado, because it looks awfully high mountains in these pictures. And click on that. And it says they're starting to move. Get rid of the cookie notification. And this is Nevada. And Nevada Department of Wildlife helps evacuate animals from Animal Ark. I guess that's a place in Nevada. And the Animal Ark, it is an animal place. Credited, obviously it's an animal place. But I'm just learning about it now. I imagine it's a place I really like if there's animals there. And it says they're in the process of moving many of the animals that had to be evacuated due to the wildfires back home. Which that's good if they're getting rid of some of the evacuation notices. Hopefully these fires are getting contained. And this is for the more wildlife. And this page is jumping all over the place. But it is more wildlife. And this is crazy. And yeah, because some of them like the big wild cats, so they're also being, I'm guessing they live at zoos or exotic animal places. And this is not good. I don't know what I'm finding now, but it has nothing to do with animals. So, yeah, look at another device and see what's going on with the animals. Okay. Let's see what the Animal Ark is, because it was doing something good. Animal Ark in Reno. That is another place that has fires. And the Animal Ark is a nonprofit organization in Washoe County. That was one place that had the fire. It's a wildlife sanctuary. So, their animals may have been evacuated. I do not know where you would evacuate bears and lions and all of them. I've been focused on the domestic ones and the ones that can be domesticated. In some situations, bison or wild boars can be domesticated. But like lions and tigers really can't, I don't think. I know that one guy, I forgot his name. Was it? That one guy who's famous, that he would disagree with me. He's a tiger king, I think. But I really don't think lions and tigers can be domesticated. And this channel is all about domestic animals. I'll tell you about wild animals, but I have to do a lot of research on them. I know about the I can tell you a decent amount about the bison and the wild boars and the zebras because they're related to domestic animals. But, well, lions and tigers, they're wild big cats, but they're not like the cats that I have in my yard. They won't come in the house because they're feral. And I guess they think of my house as a prison or something, and that, they're still going to get fed outside. But, so, I was just looking for places we can that all of you can evacuate animals. Thank God I'm not having to evacuate anybody because I am on the East Coast. So I'm looking for where to evacuate large animals. And in the Oregon and Washington, fires. And I do not want AI. Go away, AI. Okay, wildfire resources for communities across Washington. And you can go, it says there are a lot of sites you can go to find out where you can go and where you can take your animals, the smaller ones. There's more shelters that'll take the smaller ones. And they can just go with you and stay with you. You have dogs and cats and parakeets. Make sure you have a crate for them. Make sure their vaccines are up to date if it's dog or cat. And let's see, real-time fire updates. Watch Duty provides frequently updated maps of active wildfires, evacuation zones, shelters, fire perimeters, and other incident information. That's for Washington. Washington State Department of Agriculture also recommends it as a tool for following active fires. And then the Washington Department of Natural Resources has a wildfire portal. And it's so this is just, I don't know why it's so hard for me to find it. I guess because I don't live in these places. If I really go on the websites, I'll find it. And I will let you know if I find any. Okay, here's one that wildfires. It says preparedness for farmers and ranchers. Identify and prep safe zones for animals to go during a fire. Prepare trailers and halters for fast animal transport. Mark or tag animals with ID in case of evacuation or escape. And I would say go as far as to say have the fancy ear tags like Fluffy Feather Farm has. Even though they're in Illinois, it's usually not on fire. And it's not on fire right now. But they have their farm name on their ear tags and the animal's name. So their ear tags is Fluffy Feather Farm. And it also has the animal's name. And that's a good way to identify if you have cattle. So, this is just really sad. And if you are a Christian, I'm just asking you to pray for the people and the animals. Because, this is an animal channel, but, everyone that has these animals, they're domestic animals. So all of these animals have a human or multiple humans that take care of them. And these fires are affecting people and animals. And people and animals are all sentient beings created by God. And these fires are terrifying and they can be deadly. And just pray that they are contained and extinguished, and that homes, barns, human homes, barns, dog houses, everywhere that shelters people and animals to be spared in these horrible wildfires. And the wildfire season will be over. It started early. I'm praying that it will be over early. There was one wildfire that said they expected complete containment at the end of November. That is crazy. What is going on with this fire? The wildfire season is supposed to end sometime in October, near the end of October. Why is it a whole other month? I would say that I am hoping and praying that this fire will be contained. And I forgot which fire it is. I think it was the Little Giant fire. I'm not sure. I think it was the Little Giant fire. Said they expected it to be completely contained near the end of November. And it's just terrifying. So pray for people and animals. If they tell you to evacuate, you need to go. Take your animals with you, depending on where you're evacuating to. I'd say if you have large animals, just plan for evacuation to a friend or family's house that's outside of the fire zone. That's the safest, but if you can't, there are places, and I am not finding them today. I don't know why, but if I find any, I will put them in a short or in a community post, because I know that a lot of the 4-H and a lot of the fairgrounds are taking large animals. And then there are also people with private owned farms that will take additional animals who are being evacuated. There are some sanctuaries that will take additional animals that are being evacuated. And once it gets to level 2, I would say start preparing to evacuate large animals, because they panic. They're big. Sometimes they don't want to walk. Sometimes they don't want to get in the trailer. Just do it when they think it's just a routine ride. Just go to the vet. Go to wherever they're used to going places to meet. To have meet and greets with people. Like I know at the in Mocksville, North Carolina, there was a Brews and something festival, and they had animals there. The animals that are used to getting in a trailer, it's better to let them have positive experiences in a trailer, so when you have to evacuate them, they're not going to panic. If they just think they're going to go meet a bunch of people that are going to feed them cattle cubes or lettuce or whatever you give to feed them, and they're going to have fun, and they don't realize you're evacuating them for a fire, they'll get right in there. If they have only positive, except for the vet. Most animals don't like it, but if they have a lot of positive experiences with trailers, they'll get a lot easier. But if you have hundreds of them, you probably can't take them all for rides, but just have all their records for their vaccines and their medical history and all that. And just be praying for this fire and this is just, I do not like that it is in my country. And there's even people coming from Australia, New Zealand to the United States. Canada is bad too, and I'm not sure where the exact evacuation. I found more for the United States. And the original fire, the Aspen Acres, is only 72% contained. This has been like the worst fire season I have heard of in a very long time. Possibly my whole life. And I have always kept up with that. Fire safety has always been a priority. I don't like fire. It's one of my worst fears. But I still can't look away when they're telling about these wildfires, which I trying to think about where can I live. It's a very low risk for that. And like what to do with animals. And how many properties do I need to have to make sure my life isn't a total loss. In a fire, I'm thinking everything about fire. I am autistic, and for some reason fire safety has always been one of my special interests. And mostly trying to prevent fires so we don't have to worry about evacuating them. But you can't prevent a wildfire. So I'm on the East Coast where it happens a lot less. It does happen here, but it happens a lot less. And so when I learn of more shelters, I will put them in a community post, or I will put them in a short. And hopefully you won't need the information. Hopefully these stupid fires will be put out. They're horrible, they're scary. Hopefully they'll put out very soon. And thank you for watching. And you can like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to learn more about animals. And hopefully my next video will be more scripted.